It's a new era in the SEC and a new dawn in Tuscaloosa as the Kalen DeBoer era officially was underway yesterday during A-Day. What were some of the key takeaways that we can break down moving into the summer months, and who are some names that you want to target whenever it comes to message board material? But before we begin that, if you're new here, welcome on into the channel. I'm back. I know I've been gone for a little while, but we talk college football every single day. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. What do you think of Alabama? And what was your main takeaway from A-Day going into 2024? Tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, best of bros, college football aficionados, and just fans of the SEC in general, because we're on the race to become the #1 YouTube show talking about our favorite sport, but more importantly, we're on the way to become the #1 college football community. Make sure that when you like and subscribe, you also are following me on social media, wherever you get your social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, at Mr. Cole Thompson. I'm also on Twitter. And to keep up with everything that we're doing and you want your question read live on air, make sure that you email me at colethompsonwriting@gmail.com or slide in the DMs. I love answering conversations whenever it surrounds our favorite sport. Key takeaways from Alabama spring game. Well, I think the run game is going to be really potent next year. You talk about what you're going to be bringing back and what you feel like is going to be a strength for you. It's always been the bread and butter in Tuscaloosa, whether it be a brand new offensive coordinator, whether it be just the same personnel, whether it be the same guys from the year before. You've always liked the run game. They have two exceptional running backs. Jalen Milroe, over 83 yards, a rushing touchdown, MVP of the game yesterday. You also have Justin Haynes. And these are two guys that are very deliberate when it comes to making cuts, when it comes to hitting the open field with stride, when it comes to not utilizing all the mechanics and just juking and jiving behind the line of scrimmage. They're forceful. They want to get downfield, and they want to punch you in the mouth as quickly as they can. And yesterday, you kind of saw a little bit of that. Both of them, big-time yards, big-time runs, big-time ability to be able to extend plays after the line of scrimmage. They get to the second and third level. They're not going to go down easy. And so even when you have those question marks about where this offense is in terms of the passing attack, as everyone is starting to get used to what DeBoer is trying to preach, you know that you have a good ground game and an established force that is always going to continue to move the sticks, get you closer to that first down marker, and continue drives that are going to end with a more positive feel than a negative connotation. All right, let's talk about the passing attack. So when it comes to wide receivers, you know Ryan Williams is going to be a superstar. And you know that right now that somebody else is going to have to step up and replace what you lost in guys like Malik Benson and guys like Jermaine Burton and Isaiah Bond. Jeremy Bernard, I think, is actually going to be that guy. He spent last season at the University of Washington. He understands what Jamarcus Shepard is looking for in terms of route running, concepts, the ability to win across the middle of the field. You saw it yesterday. 3 catches, 123 yards. He was able to average, I think, 28.2 yards per play. Big time gain across the middle part. Gain of a 45 play. Open field agility that makes a lot of sense and brings you a lot of sustainability. I think that that's going to be able to set the tone. You got somebody inside the building that understands what people are looking for, and more importantly, he gets the offensive concepts. Now you just got to be able to show that you can be a difference maker like you were in the Big Ten at a little bit of capacity when you were at Michigan State, now in the SEC. As for the man, the myth, the legend, Jalen Milroe, there's going to be some trepidation. Here's the good news. What you saw yesterday was growth and development across the intermediate part. Go ahead and look at the stat line if you feel like it. But to me, more importantly, this was about showing what you can do when the things are coming. The main part that we always had issues with last season when talking about a guy like Jalen Milroe was the intermediate part of the field was a risk factor. He could do the dink and dunks. He could easily utilize his legs, and he could go deep like a country mile, say Uncle Rico says hello. But when it came to the intermediate part of the field, there was some hesitation. There was some trepidation. There was some miscommunication at times. Well, on the throws that you did see yesterday, there was a positive outlook that placement's good, delivery's good, timing's good. He felt very confident and pristine when it came to delivering passes all across the middle of the field and an offense that's completely different than what Tommy Rees ran. But here's the good news that I think you can understand. Kalen DeBoer comes from a background of knowing offensive philosophies. And one of the best things that you ever learn when it comes to game planning, whether it be in war, whether it be on the field, whether it be in any sport out there, you're going to play to your strengths. You know what Jalen Milroe is. Number 4, when you get him in the open field, is a human firecracker that is about ready to erupt. And if you're too close, you're going to get the blast. And they're going to make sure that that still is a key element to his game. It may not be the number 1 element, but it will be at least something that is utilized properly. And to me, that's a big win. When you trust what you have at your disposal and you don't try to do too much, you embrace your culture, you're in a good spot. But the fact that he was able to make several timely throws, 15 yards downfield, 17 yards downfield, 12 yards downfield, that area of weakness now becoming a bit of a strength, that's a win for Tuscaloosa. That's a win for Alabama when it comes to establishing themselves as still the face of the SEC. Defensively, we got to talk about this. There is going to be a lot of people who will say, well, they gave up 37 points. They gave up 35 points. That's a combined 70-plus points yesterday. I want everybody in Tuscaloosa, and I'm an Alabama grad, so I feel you when it comes to your trepidation. Take a deep breath. It is a brand new defensive formation for the first time in over 16 years. There is going to be a little bit of a rocky learning curve, and it's okay. Kane Womack is one of the best defensive minds that we have seen around the college football landscape for the last 7 years. Back when he was at Indiana, the year that he was able to go ahead and get the Hoosiers to, what was it, 7-5? What was it, 9-3, 8-4? They had a number 3 defense in the Big Ten. When he was at South Alabama, he was able to have one of the best defenses in the Sun Belt. It just takes time. It's going to be okay. Now, this is a good news because here's the best part. The transfer portal window is opening, and you kind of have a good understanding. Well, you lose Kool-Aid McKinstry, you lose Terry and Arnold. Do you feel confident in what you have in terms of depth behind those two? Do you feel like that you need to go out and add somebody alongside, say, like a Malachi Moore? Do you feel like that you got to go out in a safety, maybe another pass rusher? Whatever it is, you can do so. That's what the transfer portal window is for. And it's a good time to open up and figure out where your flaws are. And there's going to be a ton of names that enter. Some are going to be small school players. Some are going to be household figures that you never thought were going to transfer from the get-go, but they are going to be made available. Everything that you saw yesterday is a breath of fresh air, and it's a new feel. Once you do something over and over and over again, perfect example. When I used to work on my radio show, I knew exactly where I was, what time I had to leave, what time I had to get there, how much time I needed to prepare. It's just a repetition thing. This is a brand new element. Everybody who is coming in is learning something new. So it's all based off of a cohesion together. You can go ahead and have some highlight moments, some down moments, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be the version that takes the field come Saturday, week 1. So what are the main takeaways that we can go ahead and establish with a final conclusion? This is an offense that can be explosive. This is an offense that can have that same feel that it was in Seattle down in Tuscaloosa. And you could get a better version of Jalen Milroe that actually is somebody that is more dynamic than you ever could have imagined, which is horrifying for the rest of the SEC because of all you're saying is, well, somebody's got to be that Cinderella team that comes out of nowhere. And then you go ahead and unveil the mask and it's, it's Alabama. You know, the team that we thought was going to finally be done with the dynasty. No, they're just taking a 1-year hiatus and going right back to work as we all expected them to. That could be the team. This is also a defense that knows where the problems are. And now they have the next 4 months to figure out where they need to improve and where they need to establish more consistency before they actually take the field in week 1. Overall, Alabama was never going to fall off the face of the earth. Those of you that want to believe that the earth is flat probably also believe that Alabama was going to be done with the dynasty. They may not be the most elite team in the SEC. They may finish very well 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the conference, but they're still a viable threat to go to the college football playoff with this offense, with the returning production at quarterback, and with the philosophy that everything grows one step at a time. Go ahead and take this as a learning curve. Go ahead and say this is a positive for your team, but more importantly, just remember, this is a team that is going through an entire revamp, and there was a lot of positivity yesterday to where you can at least say to yourself, Alabama's got something cooking. Maybe it's not an 11-1 or 12-0 season, but 10-2, very much on the radar. 9-3, I would be very shocked if they're anything less than that. They have the offense. They're going to be fine defensively. just find that stability. You'll be good to go for the long-term future. Make sure that you like the video, comment down below. What are your thoughts on Alabama going into 2024? Tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, best of bros, everyone in Tuscaloosa. Guys, I'm still alive. I'm around. Make sure that you go ahead and follow me here. Make sure that you're also telling SEC fans about this channel, because we're not trying to become the #1 YouTube show talking about our favorite sport. We're trying to become the #1 college football community, well past the likes of the Red Box. Make sure that you're also following me on social media at Mr. Cole Thompson, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you see fit. And to make sure that you always keep up with everything that we're doing, slide in the DMs, ask me questions, go ahead and email me at colethompsonwriting@gmail.com. That way we can turn it into a one-off video that you will enjoy, I will enjoy, and we can continue to grow this community well past YouTube. Until next time, folks, I'm Cole Thompson. Later.